The narcissist is always plotting on you, but right now I'm particularly concerned because they've gone ghost. And they've been ghost for a while. I've been no contact for about 6 months. But I'm sure you've gone through this with a narcissist where all of a sudden they lose interest. But sometimes they're still physically there, but because they don't want to break up with you, because of whatever, they haven't left you in a physical sense. But I've been no contact for 6 months, and I would get these hoovers, but they're like silent hoovers. This time I would get like calls from unknown numbers. I would hear from our acquaintances that they were talking about me. But all of a sudden it stopped. And I really got to a place where I don't care anymore, but it's concerning. It's concerning because narcissists are dangerous people. And I'm hoping that they just got cut up with some other supply, right? I'm hoping that they've maybe realized that their efforts to bother me or it's strange, right? It's when you're trying to figure out what a narcissist does and figure, you find out this person has a disordered mind, and then you're trying to like logically think of why they're doing what they do. It's always going to be a losing battle, but it's it's scary because at this point I'm hoping they just gave up on me, but I don't know if now they're plotting some kind of revenge. If they even worse, like I'm kind of like worried that they kind of are trying to like thinking of ways to get me back because even though at this point I've moved on from what's happened with a narcissist in the sense that I don't carry around that chip on my shoulder. But when a narcissist is obsessed with you, when they begin to stalk you, when they begin to pursue you no matter what, because maybe you were just, that I hate the term, but grade A supply, it's terrifying because the same reason I was been able to go no contact for 6 months is the same reason that I don't want them to come back to my life. And part of it's because I'm honestly worried that I might kind of give in and just because in social situations we try to be nice and we try to be cordial, and I might just allow them to be in my life when I just do not want them to be in my life because I don't trust them. Obviously, definitely don't trust them, and I don't trust myself in certain aspects. My life has gone progressively better every time I go no contact with a narcissist, and that goes for any relationship you're in. If it's with normal, healthy, mentally healthy people, if it's with whoever, if you notice that every time you take a break from someone in your life and it gets better, your life gets better, then that unfortunately means that the less that person is in your life, the better your life is. And I've noticed that this person just isn't good for me. And it's why I took a break from making videos. And it's why you should really take breaks from watching videos like this too. A huge part of getting over a narcissist and when you stop being afraid of what they might do, what you might do, why you're so obsessed with this person, sometimes we just need a break from the BS. Sometimes we just need to quit attracting these type of people into our lives, and that goes with anything you do in life. Sometimes taking a small break from something, it just gives you that reset you need. It gives your mind that reset you need to let this whatever it might be go, whether it's maybe you just need a you've been dieting for 3 months and you take like a week off, you notice that like, oh, I really didn't even want this junk food back and I really just want to keep like being in healthy and in shape. When we are so trauma bonded to the narcissist, when we are stuck in that loop of trauma, it's really hard to think clearly. It's really hard to see past the past and see past the state we're in. We're in a state of being stuck when we are obsessed with a narcissist. But we all end. I really hope we all end up in that situation where you just kind of snap out of it one day. I knew it happened for me, and it took a lot. It took a lot of good luck, and it took a lot of hard work, and just a bunch of things that just happen to fall into place. And you just got to keep trying new things. Some maybe that break won't work. Maybe it'll just help a little. Maybe it'll hurt. You don't know. But I just know that when I was in a very bad place from dealing with a narcissist, I was stuck in a very rigid pattern of thinking. I was stuck in a very rigid pattern of self belief and just my everyday actions. And when and it wasn't easy, but when I took action to just make small changes, right? Like today, I'm not going to watch 30 videos on narcissism. I'm just going to watch 25, even if it's that silly. Just keep pushing towards doing other things. And this, like, I don't know, it was like a month break that I took from making videos. It gave me a whole new perspective on things. And I was already in a very good place when I stopped making the videos. I just, it was a combination of many things, right? I just believed that I needed the break. I was burnt out, a bunch of other stuff that people aren't going to care about. But the point being is, it happens a lot in life too. People say like, just go on vacation, and it'll just give you a new perspective, right? When you break out of the mold, and that's always led to really life changing epiphanies. I've been like stuck at a job I didn't like, and then I took a week break. And sometimes we're poor, we don't have the money to do this, but you can just take like staycation, right? Like use those you can like accumulate hours, right? Like to get paid, to get like a week off and just stay at home. But just not being at work, it snaps you out of what we can sometimes do as human beings. And that is, we're very good at following a pattern of thinking, of a pattern of action, and eventually we do it for so long, right? And some people do it so long that it ends up being their entire lives. You've noticed that person, it's like they've always worked at that same job, they've always like done the same things for the most part, right? And they've just been stuck there their whole life. It's likely because they never got out of the situations and just their every they were born and they stayed in the same town, they had the same job, they had the same girlfriend, etc., etc. And because their life was so rigid and nothing ever changed, you never gain new perspective. Just like how, and that's why, in old times, when you couldn't get on the internet, when you even back even further, when you couldn't just read a book and learn new knowledge, people were really rigid and stuck in their thinkings, not because they were necessarily stupid, it's just because that's who they were, as that's all they had the capacity to do, right? And it's just those very few like deep thinkers that were on the cutting edge who were making new ideas. And likely those were also the people who had the time, right? There's the people who had access to people who could advance their knowledge. That's why it's so easy to win. It's so easy to get over the narcissist in a sense, because you have videos like this and other channels, and you have books, and you have all the you can go to therapy, and like there's so many ways to win against the narcissist. And if it's any consolation, I used to be so stuck to think that I'm never gonna get over this. I even thought that even if I get over it, it'll always be like it's kind of like splinter in my mind where I'm always gonna think about them. I'm always gonna be afraid of what they're gonna do next. And while I do still think of them on occasion, they're not a part of my life anymore. If they hate me, they love me, blah blah blah. Like it has zero effect on me. It has as much effect on me as like the Wi-Fi signal in my house, right? Like it's there, but I don't know it's there. I hope that was a good analogy, but the point being is, don't lose hope. There's always a way out of almost every situation, every problem you get yourself into.